All right, we're live. It's Tuesday, time for another episode of Tagging the Androids. As per the usual, you can join us live every week at taggingtheandroids.com/live. So yeah, I'm gonna hit record. All right.
Do it.
Do it.
For centuries, we've been warned about little green men.
Now, they are coming. They're coming for you. Run. But first,
Shut your windows.
hide your apples. Prepare for the attack of the android. And now, your host and the human leader of the Android Underground, Matt Lee.
Bum, 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 bum. What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday, April 29th, 2014. This is episode 122 of Attack of the Androids. Every week, right here live at attackoftheandroids.com/live. I'm Matt Lee. That's Eric Finkenbiner. What's up, Eric? Eric frozen. That's cool. Also joining us, Nick Carroll. What's up, Nick?
Hey
Nick,
guys, how's it going? Glad to be back.
also frozen. Makes you want to just go back to the sweet, sweet days of Skype podcasting.
That's
No,
right.
No, nothing. Everybody had bandwidth for Skype.
Oh yeah. Well, ironically, Skype is now free for the group stuff, so that's an option.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Then you just have the problem of figuring out how to get that video feed pumped out to the rest of the internet. I can see it's good for private stuff, but
Yeah.
you have to at that point do what you gotta set up a camera looking at a big monitor that has that, and
Yeah. Or maybe a video capture card or something. Yeah.
Just no bueno.
They're improving slowly, an inch a year. It's better than nothing, I guess. So yeah.
Better than nothing. So yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, let's start things out. What do you want to talk about first? What should we get on with?
Yeah. There's been a lot of things going on this week. Actually, let me pull up the rundown. It actually just closed for me.
Well, I'll say just real quick, the HP Slatebook 14. It's another HP attempt at a laptop running Android.
Yeah, it actually looks pretty cool. I think it's got potential, but I think until maybe a bigger company, like a bigger Android company, comes out with their own Android notebook, we may not see that platform take off. But I'm at least interested in it. They tried something like that a few months ago, late last year as well, a previous Slatebook or something like that. And so I guess this is their second attempt at it. But it looks good from the pictures that I've seen of it.
Yeah, not too bad. It says 14 is going to have a 1080p touchscreen, possibly 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gig storage on board. And of course, they talk about on PC World here. They say last year the company released the Slatebook X2. It was a 10-inch tablet with an attachable keyboard and trackpad dock. But that effort had, of course, numerous issues. So hopefully they got those worked out with the new one.
Yeah, the one that came out last year was like a Tegra 4. This, I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, and there's really not that many specs on it as of right now, but I'm sure we'll hear more about it as it comes out. They're talking like a quad-core NVIDIA, so that's what the Tegra 5.
That would be Tegra 4, or maybe Tegra. There's a new one coming out called the K something, so it could be that as well. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I don't see them going all out with it,
Yeah.
But who knows? 3 full USB ports, micro SD card, HDMI out.
Yeah, it looks like it'll probably be pretty light as well. I mean, that's the thing about these Android tablets and other things is you don't necessarily need huge heat sinks, cooling fans or anything like that. And this, at least from the image I can see here, doesn't have like a fan or anything. So it should be relatively light and portable.
Pretty cool, and no prices yet, of course. So.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing they mentioned is Beats audio speakers. Like HP has an agreement with Beats Audio, so that's cool. They're actually an investor in Beats, so yeah.
You are?
Oh no, not me, but I'm saying like HP has invested in Beats.
Oh, right, yeah. I thought you were like, I have invested in Beats, and this is
Okay.
good news. Cha-ching!
Yes.
That's awesome. Let's see. Some gaming stuff. Article on Droid Gamers, XCOM, Enemy Unknown from 2K Games, finally on Android. Talking about the rather popular game XCOM Enemy Unknown, of course. They say finally made the jump from iOS to Android today. 2K Games has brought the Alien Eliminating game, if you're familiar with that. So
yeah,
it's large, like 3.6 gigs large.
Yeah. I mean, it's a remake of an old PC game. It's really redesigned, for touch and all that stuff. But that's kind of cool. It's like if you're into like the turn-based RPGs, it's a little bit of a top-down kind of thing. Like if you're kind of familiar with the StarCraft design, it kind of is like that in terms of how it plays. So I've never been personally a fan of it, but I know a lot of people that have played that. So the original. So yeah.
Right, Eric, joining us. How was your blue screen of death?
It doesn't feel good. It's painful.
Nice. Can you turn your audio up some, please?
Yep, happy to.
Would appreciate that. So we mentioned just briefly the new HP Slatebook 14. You got any thoughts on that? Meh, just whatever.
I'm still not 100% bought into the whole
Android notebook.
Android on a notebook.
Yeah.
I think just because Chromebook has done so well.
Yeah.
They're doing everything right. I don't necessarily see the need for this, but cool.
If they could do something like multi-window, that's what you're used to on a notebook or a desktop, is having multiple windows and all that kind of stuff. And if they can really integrate that into the notebook, I think it'll make it worthwhile. But like with the Chromebook, I think it's called the Arrow or something like Desktop Manager. It's where you can have all these windows side by side and you can adjust them. And that's something you get with a desktop or a notebook. It's something you don't traditionally get with Android unless you've got like a Note or tablet from Samsung or something like that. But Android there's no built-in multi-window manager for Android.
Yeah, Samsung has it. I have it on this Tab 3. I haven't turned it on. But I think Arrow is Windows.
Well, yeah, it's not Arrow. It's another one of the A words. Like I think it's Aura. Like Aqua for
Trebuchet? What are you talking about?
No, it's basically the Chrome OS. Their desktop manager is called
their
Aura.
file manager.
Yeah.
Right. And I think those are different use cases. I mean, we kind of talked about this earlier, but it's like the Chromebook use case, I feel like, is different than what you would get a full Android laptop for. It's like I love hooking up my Bluetooth keyboard to my tablet so much I want it built in. It's like that, I think.
Yeah. Well, one of the advantages of going with Android is that there are so many apps to choose from, and everything you're comfortable with using on a tablet or a smartphone, you can now use, on a notebook. So that has some features, but I think until they get that multi-window functionality built in, I think that's going to be the only stopping point. Because when you get something that big, like a 14-inch notebook, you want to have more than just one screen, So.
Well, and the only way they're really going to do that is power, right? More memory, more processor, throw it. Or obviously code it in a way that is, easier on resource. I have no idea how you would even begin to do that, but
yeah, I mean, Samsung's very first multi-window implementation, last year was very like hit or miss. It's like if you're clicking on one app, this kind of freezes basically, and then if you switch back, this kind of freezes. And sometimes you'd be lucky if one half is like their YouTube side, or I guess top and bottom, that it'll continue to play video while you're doing something here, but you would see like in clicking one and then the other, you would see like a pause or hesitation, a little bit clunky from what I've seen. So that has to be improved on Android, really. So, and I guess it has with the newer, interface that Samsung's been using on their Note and Tab series.
Well, and I'll turn it on this, and it doesn't. I mean, it's not really multitasking. It's like you have this, I don't know if you can see that, you have this little bar there that has stuff on it, but like if I'm in a tab in Chrome, let's say I'm checking out some Google News, and I want to also be having my email up. It goes to one or the other. Like, you're not switching between. I mean, you're not viewing them both. So that's kind of unless
it's supposed to get it to where you view like one on the top and one on the bottom, per se, when it's in portrait mode.
Wait. Okay, I see. You got to drag it. See, I've never messed. Okay, drag it, and then let's say. Okay. Oh, that looks terrible. Here, there's my email. You can read. There.
So yeah.
And Google News, if you'd also like to read, on the bottom, and you can like scroll one or the other.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, but. That only makes sense on a way bigger screen than this. Even on the Nexus 10, like a 10-inch.
Yeah.
I mean, you cut it in half. You're still working two phones at that point, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where you have something like HP 14.
Eric Beast phone over there, the N1.
Yeah. Well, like the HP notebook is a 14-inch screen, so that's where you'd be able to use that real estate. So imagine having two 7-inch tablet, portrait mode, interfaces, essentially. That's kind of closer to what you'd be looking at. So I don't know.
And you can like adjust them. Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
No, I'm looking at this thinking, being a Chromebook user, not an exclusive Chromebook user. I have a real computer. I will call it a real computer. I have multiple of them. I look at this and it just seems like it's going to be way more complicated than it needs to be. And that from a user standpoint, if you're going to get this, you might as well just get like an Acer C720p or something.
Yeah.
Like, pay $300 for that, and you'll probably like the experience a lot better. The only benefit to this is that you could do more offline stuff, I'm guessing, like, writing documents and things, which,
Sure.
I don't know, from my personal experience, didn't seem like it was that easy on the Chromebook.
Yeah, local support definitely would be helpful. And then after that, Eric, while you were blue screening of Dying Death, we talked about the XCOM Enemy Unknown. Haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I take it you did, or you want to, or what?
I downloaded it. There's a lot to download.
Gigs of it, did you?
Yeah, this thing is ginormous. Thank God that I bought the 32 gigabyte Nexus 7. So it just finished downloading today, and I decided to.
When did you start it? Like last week?
No, it was like yesterday morning, and then I was going in and out of coverage, so it, whatever. And if you follow me on Twitter or Google Plus, you may have seen the back and forth between Verizon and myself, because the internet here in my apartment is really horrible. So
please, can we
that's another reason.
Into that?
These people are just incompetent. So if, like my friend Julie, I'm staying at her place, and she had asked them to upgrade this internet, which is currently like one down.
512 up.
Yeah, 512 up basically. And this thing, it's been like 3 weeks, and Verizon keeps saying, "Oh yeah, we'll do that. Sorry, it'll take 3 to 5 days, and it'll be done."
Yeah, if you don't like it, you could just go to another cable. All right, we're the only ones. Yeah.
I really don't get it. I really don't. And like, this is their they're trying to phase out their dry-line service. What's that?
It's a monopoly. They can do wherever the hell they
want.
want.
They're phasing out their dry-line service. Just this. Yeah. It's crappy. Whatever. Which is probably why I'm lagging right now. So I've just been tweeting back and forth with Verizon all night, just being like, "Hey, you wanna take my money, please?" Like that sort of thing.
Also, though, we haven't paid our money to have our packets prioritized, so we may be a victim of that also. So who knows?
I wrote my check and sent it in. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah,
I'm bought into the new system.
The check's in the mail. Yeah. So, if you're unfamiliar, as I am, of The Enemy Unknown, and they say the game was originally released on PC and consoles before coming to mobile, Of course, iOS first. They said an Android version was always planned, but it seems to take forever to actually arrive. This version is basically the same as the PC console version, except, of course, the controls being optimized for the mobile. This means you'll be recruiting soldiers, leveling them up, running a fully operational base, and, of course, killing aliens. Hell yeah. That sounds good. As soon as I make room, I'm going to definitely have to try it. Thoughts? Anyone? Bueller?
It's not my type of game, but
I'm looking up right now.
It's a very popular one. So.
Yes, Eric?
If you look up the minimum requirements for this game, it's like a 2 gigahertz dual core, 2 gigs of RAM, NVIDIA GeForce 8600.
It's the Shield, right?
20 gigabytes of hard drive space.
Play it on the Shield. The new Shield.
It's you could. This would probably be a fun game to play on the Shield. It just amazes me that they were able to optimize this game, like down from those PC requirements to work on mobile. Like that just blows my mind.
Which were what, like 6.7 gigs? So they like cut the size in half.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like PC DVD type.
I'm sure that they're using like smaller, like graphics and things like that. But these requirements too. I mean, the processor that it's supposed to run on is Intel architecture, and these are ARM processors. So,
right.
I don't know. I'm really excited to see that these. This would be considered a top tier video game of what was it, like 2013? I think is when it came out, or maybe late 2012. So, I mean, sweet. I think it's going to be $9.99.
Yeah, it is impressive that they're able to put it essentially on smartphones and tablets. It was a high-end game when it first came out on PC, and I know this is kind of a remake of it, but it's much the same thing as near as I can tell. But it's kind of cool that just something this big can play that game, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, and going back to what we were talking about earlier, Ant in the chat room, he says Chrome OS Windows Manager. He says the thing we were talking about was Aura.
Aura, yeah. I was having a hard time. There's Aqua, Arrow, and now Aura. So yeah.
What we were actually looking for was Aura. Okay.
Aura.
All right. Let's see. Moving on. Samsung patent reveals. Are you ready for this amazing magic? The Note 4. Wait for it. The Note 4 is gonna have a wraparound display. It's actually going to look like a book on your shelf that you can just look at stuff on the end of the display.
Oh my God! Somebody's been reading my letters. This is awesome.
Finally, right? Now we can have our 4-inch thick smartphones.
Vindication!
Finally! Thank you!
This is a really odd. I mean, look at the drawing from the patent filing. Like, this is just an odd thing.
Let's here we can actually we have.
Looks like I can draw that.
Let's do ready this. Boom! Magic.
Oh my God! Look at that.
Internet magic, folks. You're witnessing it right here, right now. So it looks like a book, isn't it? It's like. Now I can...
A notebook.
But, I like what you did there, sir. You should write them and get a job. But, so, it looks... sorry. It looks like what happened is, you guys remember, and if you look here, see where my arrow is, remember that? They're like, oh, we made this amazing display that bends. And then, like, you heard nothing about it, right? Absolutely nothing. So... I'm thinking all this time goes by and they're like, we really should use that crap that we made such a big deal out of. And here it is, right here. A new form factor like you've never seen before.
I'd be surprised if they put this in their Note 4, but I wouldn't be surprised if they make their own offshoot, like the G Flex, for example. They didn't put that been technology in any of their Note, series, so they made their own separate Flex series, So they may make or whatever, not curved because that's LG, So we'll see how that goes.
It's edgy.
Like
Yeah.
this looks really bad. I mean, like, look at how thick this the drawing is of the phone. Like,
That's what I'm saying, Eric. Remember
a little well.
You remember we've been slimming phones down? Now we're going to start seeing them thicken back up. I want one the size of the Bible.
That's
but
right.
what's the well for? Like, the snort your coke out of? Like, what is
You don't know. You don't know. It's for your bookmarks.
But I don't get it.
Sorry. Oh man.
Please.
So yeah, I mean, there's that out in the world. So look forward to the new Note 4, the book, the end. What's that called? The book end.
The bookend, yeah.
Bookend.
The Galaxy B.
Like Galaxy bookend.
Yes.
The Galaxy B.
I want a big screen, and then I want two of them on either side, and I'll just have my Play books collection there. It'll be almost like a real bookshelf.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice. Just two of them facing each other, and that's your Play bookshelf.
Exactly, right? Forever. Think about holding this thing. Like, how are you... If they're on all the time and they're lit, right, like the other buttons used to be, you're always going to be bumping them. You're going to have to completely change the way you hold your phone. And who looks at the side of their phone? That's stupid. Samsung, this is stupid.
I think the idea is that it would be second nature, like how a lot of us, we learn where the capacitive touchscreens are on our devices, and when we want to hit the back button, we are it's muscle memory. We know how to get there.
But is that where we want to go?
It's an interesting idea, but in practice, I think what you said is going to be the major problem, is that you're going to be bumping this crap all the time.
That it's stupid? Yeah. I said
Unless you lick your phone to activate it, and then the buttons turn on, and then you
like licking the spline of your phone. It's gross. Look at that guy
do it.
His phone. It's dirty. It'll have camera, contact settings, and text messaging shortcuts on these quote action keys. This is terrible. I'm sorry.
What's the key underneath the arrow, the back button? I can't make that out.
That's the calendar, I guess. I don't know. That's
not
the
the
contact.
calendar.
That's gotta be contacts, right?
Oh, okay. No, there you go.
Camera, contact, setting. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, this is. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have even gave that a minute. All right. Moving on. Android Authority has an article on the OnePlus Smash the Past contest. Who loves just straight up wrecking old smartphones? I mean, come on.
Or even current, like an HTC One or something like that, yeah.
Right, and I mean, of course, make sure you leave the battery in it so that it explodes when you hit it.
That's right, and of course, don't wait for an invitation, to do it and approval. So that's what you want to do. Just smash it.
That's
and
right.
put it on YouTube. Yeah.
Make sure you record yourself smashing it with your current smartphone.
The thing is, you could probably sell your current smartphone for more than the $299 it would cost to buy the OnePlus One.
That's true. You could gazelle it.
You could gazelle it. There you go.
They're
not sponsors. We shouldn't even say their name.
Yeah.
I know. You could
antelope it.
You could give it, and I could sell it online.
Yeah, and just think of it this way. No matter how much you sell it for, no matter how much or how little, it's that much more than you're going to get back by crushing it.
But I don't know, though. You'd be hard-pressed to put a price on the amazing feeling that comes with, I would use it until it force closed, and then I'd just be like, "Ah!" Smash it. Hulk smash. That would be awesome.
So some of these people you said they were just smashing them before they were even invited, because it was only for 100 people.
Yeah, the invite system didn't even start until the 25th. So in other words, that's when they started sending the invites out, and then you had to be approved. And then once you're approved, then you smash your phone, and only 100 people would basically get to smash their phone and so on and so forth.
You're telling me that people done went and smashed their phones before they actually
Before they could even yeah.
Before they filled it out, and then were also picked. They
Yes.
were like, we're
just
gonna
do it anyways.
go ahead and just smash these.
If only I had my Droid 2 Global within arm's reach, I would have gone for this little contest.
After you applied.
Each winner gets a 16 gig Silk White 1+1 and +3 invites to purchase the 1+1. So that's 1 + 1 + 3 equals your phone smashed and you crying because you didn't read the instructions. But now let's point out, and I'll bust out a screen share again. Boom, like magic. Let's note the amazing fluidity with which this website, like, it makes you want to smash something. I mean, look at this. Look at how it moves. It's like totally glass. What's this play button do? Oh, it's a YouTube video. I'm not gonna.
This is gonna be sickening.
Yeah, not even gonna try it. All right. So,
Matt, since we're talking about the 1+1, can
Eric, please,
just mini rant here. I've said
anything you want.
I've said this on the show before. I feel a little, I don't know, like, is dejected the right word? Because CyanogenMod came out with this cool phone, which I really like, the Oppo N1, and then, like, it's not even, the baby's still, it still has stuff all over it. It's just been birthed, and then they're like, oh nope, sorry, we're going with 1+1, which it turns out is not this happy little freaking startup that it was made out to be. It's owned by Oppo.
Yeah,
for God's sake, what the hell?
It's a wholly owned subsidiary of Oppo. So think of it this way: the same partner or partnership, whatever you want to call it, is probably still there with Oppo and probably with your existing, still relatively new smartphone. But yeah, it's an Oppo company. And I'll say this: think of it this way. Now that Motorola is a part of Lenovo, for example, this may be another example of a Chinese company that is maybe willing to hold on to a name that'll sell well in the States. Like Lenovo is not popular for smartphones in the States, but Motorola is. So maybe they'll hold on to that OnePlus name because it'll have some traction in the States that Oppo doesn't. Oppo really only has traction in the States for like their DVD players, maybe TV. I'm not really sure. Blu-ray players, and like maybe one smartphone or two. So maybe OnePlus will have more traction in the U.S. So maybe that's why they're having this startup, this company. So that's just my thoughts on it. So,
but they've just pissed all over everybody that bought the N1.
Maybe.
It's a small price to pay, though, for rebranding greatness, right? I mean, Google +1, you have this +1, +3. It's a whole thing.
Pluses everywhere.
Have you been watching Silicon Valley?
I have not been.
It's so good. This kind of reminds me of like something from that.
Yeah, but I would just say I don't think they're abandoning like the N1 or Oppo. I just think that they're focusing on this new OnePlus company. But I would not be surprised if there are more cyanogen versions, phones for Oppo too. But we'll see how that goes. So.
Nick, come on, man. They did this blog post where they were like, the N1, the future is nigh, and all this other BS, hype the crap out of it, and then like in my mind, I'm looking at this being like, this is gonna be the CyanogenMod, the spec phone, like the phone that you will get if you want to do CyanogenMod. Bullcrap. It didn't turn out that way at all, and it really does kind of feel like a bait and switch because like there's literally no freaking advantage whatsoever. If you look at the the story that it'll be in the show notes, but there's an interview with Steve Kondik from CyanogenMod where he's talking about all the features and all the neat new crap that they've put into this special version of CyanogenMod that will only run on the OnePlus One. And the only thing he has to say about the N1 is, oh yeah, we found out that we had to do a lot of bug fixes and polish with that one. It's like, oh well, good. That's all you have to say. Ugh.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. They do have like CM11S, and that's a special version for, the new OnePlus One phone, and it is kind of interesting that they're not having something similar for the N1. So yeah.
You know what? It's kind of reminiscent of what Google did and was doing with Android. Remember, like here's this version with all of these special apps for this phone, and people are like, well, that's not really open. It kind of reminds me of the same thing.
I'm sick of it all. I'm ordering Windows Phone now.
I'm going to Windows Phone.
Me and Cortana, we're just gonna hang out.
Eric, will you do a Windows Phone podcast with me?
Yep. It'll have even fewer listeners than this podcast. It'll be great.
We'll call it I don't even know. Something like this
Revenge of the Windows Phone? I don't know.
No, we should call it. What's the name of what was the name that Microsoft got sued? They said they couldn't use
Metro.
For Windows. Yeah, just call it the MetroCast.
I'll call it my last choice.
We'll have to dress better, to be Metro. So.
That's a lot more grooming, personally.
Yes.
I mean, personal grooming. Right.
That's right. I'm gonna wax my face.
You know what I mean. All right. Anything else on this before we move on? We'll put a link to this in the show notes. Article on Android.
Well, I would mention that Oppo, sort of mentioning Oppo, they do have their own unique lens attachment, which is actually a little bit reminiscent of Sony's 2 lens attachments that they announced last year.
And that thing was cool.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted one for like a general one that would fit on any smartphone type of thing.
Yeah. And I wonder if this will do that. Like, I'm aware of the article, I haven't read through it, but I've seen it looks actually like one of the modules that Sony made. So I'm wondering if there was some sort of
they say it looks exactly like the QX series. This is a 10x optical that captures images the same way as the Sony through Wi-Fi. They say looking at the photos, the optic external lens attachment has its own power supply with a physical power button present and can work independently. They say it's not known whether or not this product will work with phones from other vendors, but we can't imagine there being any compatibility issues.
And even if there isn't, you would just get the Sony version of that, because there were 2 that Sony had, and this is looks like one of those 2. One of them had like 10x, the other one had like 3x zoom. I don't remember the brand names, but that looks exactly like that. And even if this one only works specifically with Oppo, you could buy the Sony version and use it with your phone. But the interesting thing about like the Oppo Find 7 is this is one of those 2 smartphones that boasts a 50 megapixel, picture, with like a little trick that it does where it basically maps out multiple, sections and then stitches it all together. You can get pretty good quality even without that. So that's kind of interesting that they're announcing that attachment. So
I think it looks nice. I was actually very impressed, and it's going to run off of NFC. I have to think that Oppo is going to make this work for other devices.
That makes sense.
I can't see them just locking it to the Find 7. It wouldn't make any sense, because then they're, because Sony, their attachment works with, if I remember right, it works with other phones.
Even an iPhone.
Yeah. So.
Not through NFC.
Yeah,
but
very cool. Yeah. How does it work then for the iPhone? Is it doing Bluetooth pairing?
There's an app, and it's probably Bluetooth, but from what I remember from last year, there was an app that they would use, and it is probably using Bluetooth to pair, so that's probably how it's transmitting. But I think it's some sort of wireless connection where it's actually doing all the, the transfers between them. So. But on the Android side, NFC was just used to initiate the pairing. So.
Well, I like the fact that it has an optical zoom. Which is interesting too, because Samsung just announced that that weird camera phone hybrid thing that.
Yeah. The K zoom. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like, I mean, especially the white one, it looks like their original Android camera, but I don't know, like, I don't know how to describe it, just the shape of it and the thickness, like, you can tell it's a phone, but it's got this huge, like, camera, like a normal point-and-shoot would have with 10x optical zoom, I think.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. Like, is this something that you would like? I don't know that I would get it, because when I look at something like this, the first thought in my head is, "Wow, this thing's gonna be a pain in the ass to get a custom ROM on." But for normal people, do you think this is like something that's gonna resonate?
I think it's got to be a niche product, but I think for those, that currently have a phone that'll work with it, that might be an investment for them. So.
But for how much? Like, wasn't the Sony one like $250 or $300 or something?
Yeah, they were announced initially at $250 and $500 for the QX100 and the QX10, from what I'm reading on an older Android Central page. So I'm trying to see what other features they have, if they have like OIS or anything else. And it doesn't look like it.
How about try $449 for the...
That's the QX100. Yeah.
Right. That's so expensive.
Yeah, it looks like this is the one that compares to the QX100.
So, and that's what I saw a comment on that article. They're like, why don't you just buy an SLR at that point? Which I kind of get, but then it's still kind of cool not carrying around a separate camera, but having a lens with the capability to provide, those better shots.
Yeah, with your existing smartphone, because not every digital camera. Yeah, not every digital camera is going to have Android on it and directly, uplink to, your account or something like that. That's one advantage you have on it. Yeah.
Not saying I would drop $450 on one, but
Yeah. Well, here's the question though: would you rather have the attachment used with your, at $450, used with your current device, or would you just opt for the Galaxy K Zoom and just have it built into the phone, where it's not an attachment? It's, it's part. It's not an afterthought. It's built in.
Yeah, and actually, because it's built into the phone and it can actually compress into the phone, the advantage there is that when it's in there, it's just like the regular size of a smartphone. The only downside is the screen is 720p, and it may not necessarily be the highest end like specs, but for what it does, it's probably pretty cool. Like, give you a good vlog camera / smartphone. So.
What is it? 22,430 milliamp battery, 2 gigs RAM. I mean, the 8 gigs of memory is what I look at and say, oh, that's not good. But everything else.
But it has an SD card slot, I think. I think it has an SD card slot. I could be wrong. I'll look that up.
So at that point, if you have the camera version, because it's a lot thicker, would their wraparound screen make sense on that?
Yes. Oh yeah,
I think you just figured it out.
Boom! I just cracked the code, Samsung.
No, you have the shutter on top on the as you're holding the camera.
That's right.
It actually makes a hell of a lot of sense.
You can just yell "Captcha! Captcha! Captcha! Captcha!" and it'll just like snap photos. My tablet does that. It's completely stupid.
You yell capture and then it takes pictures?
Yeah, you turn on it's part of the S voice crap. Crapshaw. All right, the article on Droid Life, the Blackphone, some specs coming out for this iPhone-looking thing. Possibly, now I don't know if this is legit or not. Tim Otato writing on Droid Life. I tend to trust Tim Otato.
What's his name?
Tim Otato.
Tim Otato, okay.
He says it's powered by an NVIDIA Tegra 4i processor and the i500 LTE modem, and that's it.
Well, yeah, the thing about the Tegra 4i is it's clocked a little bit faster than the normal Tegra 4. There's a few less shader units, but it's because like the standard Tegra 4 is anywhere between 1.7 and 1.9 gigahertz. Like the Shield was 1.9 and the EVGA tablet was like 1.8 gigahertz. This is clocked a little bit faster, but it's also a little bit smaller from what I understand, and so they have room to put in like this separate little modem this i500 LTE modem. So it's going to be a decent performing phone. It's got a 720p screen if I remember correctly, and it'll do the job. But if you want a completely secure phone, I guess this is the route you'd go for. So.
It's a 4.7-inch with only 1 gig of RAM, 8 megapixel rear camera, 2,000 milliamp battery, and it's private OS based on Android 4.4 KitKat. $629.99.
Yeah, that's the only downside.
But these aren't rumor. This is totally legit. Shipping in June. So
yeah.
The online store is open at store.blackphone.ch. So there you go.
Well, I mean, I look at this. It has Bluetooth Low Energy. It has HSPA Plus. It has LTE, micro SD support.
Yeah, it looks
It's
decent.
an interesting idea. I don't know that you could actually call it a secure mobile experience because God only knows how secure it actually is.
What is private OS though? Like, is it just Tech Secure and Red Phone and like everything else blocked, or what are you doing specifically? Like, does it have a special chip dedicated to harvesting randomness from somewhere? Like, what is it? What's its thing? What's the catch? I get private OS. But like, what is it?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I'm reading through everything. I can't see what necessarily makes it so secure.
They've baked something into it. Maybe I can't think of what they could have done to it. To be honest with you, because unless they're doing stuff like SE Linux, which I don't think is part of. I don't think it's part of stock, but it's part of CyanogenMod, and I don't know, maybe implementing a different disk encryption than what's default in Android. I'm not sure. We'll have to read up on it. Blackphone about us. So here we go. So here's some of the software. So it has Silent Circle apps, which is Silent Phone, Silent Text, Silent Contacts. Which
right?
Silent Circle, I don't know if you guys remember when that launched.
They developed it. So the guys from Silent Circle developed private OS.
Well, that's cool.
Which it is interesting to note though, because when they launched, I was looking through some of their corporate documents and stuff that they have on their website. These guys have, they take money. If I remember correctly, from some government organization. So, take that for what it is.
It backdoor, do you think?
I don't know how secure Silent Circle is.
It looks like
get money for backdooring this, or for using algorithms that were backdoored.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Find out. If it were me, and I were, the owner of Silent Circle, just the way it looks doesn't look good. So like I automatically out of the gate don't really trust this, anyways. But whatever.
And it's actually sold out, so whatever.
Well, perfect. Then problem solved.
It comes with Blackphone Firewall, Blackphone Activation Wizard, Blackphone Remote Wipe, Disconnect Secure Wireless, Spider Oak Blackphone Edition, which Spider Oak is it's like a, not like Dropbox, but it's like an encrypted storage locker of sorts. Kismet Smart Wi-Fi Manager.
Why did they have to? Why are they touting that they have an activation wizard?
Because it's theirs. It's secure, yo. I have no idea.
We're gonna activate your phone securely.
That's right, because it's not secure. Otherwise, I honestly have no clue.
Maybe they should put out a FAQ or some sort of informational page.
Well, there is.
Custom icons.
There's description and there's additional info, but it's more like.
But it's like a very, very slim summary.
It's like a media press release. It doesn't tell you how it encrypts it and what it's using, but it tells you that there's private browsing and VPN from the company Disconnect and secure cloud file storage, of course, the Spider Oak thing. So it doesn't get into what makes them secure and why you should trust it. They just say that, here's what it's using. But I don't know. It does matter because it's all sold out. So, whatevs. They say more details soon from their site. So, who knows? I mean, would it blow your mind, or would it be just completely expected if it came out like next year that these were totally backdoored? And I don't know. I could see it happening. I will subscribe to their newsletter for latest news, though. Sure, why not?
Yeah,
I'll subscribe all of us at show@attackoftheandroids.com.
Please do. I'm subscribing my mother.
Nice. I also subscribed your mother, so good deal. All right, let's see. What else? Talk about a couple more things before we do some app picks.
Well, remember that Android Silver thing we talked about?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah. So now the what are they called? It costs like $400 to join their stupid site. The Information.
Oh yeah.
The Information is reporting that they have 4 sources. So I guess they use that $400 to pay people off. So they have have 4 4 fresh sources. $100? That's nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty cool. So they're confirming that this lag is killing me. Just put a gun in my mouth.
It's all about timing. And I'm totally missing the lag here. Go ahead. I'll just let you do this.
I will just briefly say, and then I will shut up. Just reiterate what this is. So Google's little silver thing, Android Silver. What we had read, I think it was on Android and Me, was that it was going to kill off Nexus, so no more Nexus. Instead, what you're going to have is you're going to have like these Android Silver booths at the carrier stores. So this is going to be like a carrier level thing where you're going to have only a handful, I think it was like 2 phones a year that will be Silver certified. And when you get one of these phones, somebody's going to sit you down and help you get migrated, going to buy an app with you, going to teach you how to use the phone. And you know what these sources are saying is that this is part of some Google deal with the manufacturers. Maybe they don't like the Nexus program because it cuts into their sales. So it's Google's way of trying to combat what they see as fragmentation in the user experience, while at the same time throwing a bone to the hardware manufacturers that they partner with.
And they're saying it's rumored that they've spent as much as one whole Instagram to get phone makers to jump aboard this initiative. Going to target, of course, the U.S. and other developed markets first with in-store kiosks.
Maybe this is their alternative to having like a Google store itself. It's long been rumored that hey, Google may come out with their own Google store, and that's never really come to fruition. Maybe this is their way of making that happen. If you think about Samsung, they have their own Samsung Experience kiosks or sections in Best Buy. Apple's had that for years, really a decade, where they've had an Apple section in some places like formerly CompUSA, before that went out of business, and Best Buy. So it may be that that's Google's version of making some sort of storefront presence in already established places like Best Buy or whatever. So
if you think of it, it kind of makes sense that, like, why would you spend the money and resources in building your own store when there's existing stores with existing customers that go in and out of them all the time? If you can set up prime real estate in one of those stores, like, you're good to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go...
This is going to make the people selling the devices actually care that the people that get those silver premium devices they know what they're doing and how to use them. It's not just like some schmo that's going to like hustle a bunch of burner phones to you. Like, you're going to learn how to use this real quick.
And I'm not even sure that I don't know that much about this from other the little snippets that I've read, but maybe this isn't even necessarily a front-facing program. It's like you go into an Android Silver store, you're just going into store this little Google section.
Verizon or AT&T.
Yeah.
The little guy all in silver being like, how may I help you?
Yeah. A little robot, something straight out of Japan, yeah.
Right. Cool. That would be pretty awesome.
Let us not forget, I think maybe this was 3 Google I/Os ago, when everybody was singing Kumbaya, and we're going to support we're going to support updates for every phone for a minimum of 2 years.
Alliance, right? The whole Open Handset Alliance thing.
It wasn't Open Handset it was something like that. But I just don't have faith in this. Like, it seems to me like if you want something done right, do it yourself. And aside from Google's history of sucking major ass when it comes to customer service, they've come out of the problems that they had when selling the Nexus phones. Like the Nexus 5, the Nexus 7s, like when those hit the website, it's not a bad experience. It's much better than what they've done before. So instead of building on that, it seems really stupid to give it over to this silver plan. I'm very skeptical at how I think that the person in the room that has the most to lose is Google. The manufacturers don't have anything to lose because their phones are there already. They're going to be there regardless of whether this works or not, and they're going to sell their phones regardless of whether it works or not.
Well, the issue with these kind of reports is essentially they're little snippets of information and then a lot of speculation based on that, and that is what is reported. So we get the speculation of what's reported, not really. We don't know the answers to what's really going on, and that's kind of the perturbing thing about this. And it's not unique to this story, but yeah, it's hard to put this in context because I don't think we really have enough information to really understand it. At least that's how I look at it.
Well, I think that yeah, good point. These are still just rumors. I mean, they're rumors that keep getting corroborated from multiple sources, but. Yeah, Google has not announced anything. However, if anybody is listening from Google, and you're in any way related to this thing, if it is true, do not do this. This is stupid. This is a very dumb thing.
That's right. You heard it here first, folks. Eric Finkenbiner of Attack of the Androids says, this is stupid.
Yeah, it's going to be like when you see game trailers or something, and you have the little quotes. This is stupid.
4 stars from Droid Gamer Life. Eric Finkenbiner from AotA says, don't do it. All right, let's do some app picks and wrap this thing up, shall we? Nick, give us an app pick.
Okay, this is going to be just short and sweet. So it's a little free app you can get off the Google Play Store called Newsbeat, and it's essentially a news reading program where it essentially reads like the first minute or a summarized minute of a news story, and you can choose by genre which, like technology or sports or whatever, what you want to read, and you can say on the drive to work or, you're traveling somewhere, you can just, listen to the news, and you can click the link and then go to the news site if you want to read the rest of it. So it's a little rough, the little program, but it's free, so I mean, it's not like you're losing out on anything for trying it, and that's my little program. It's called Newsbeat.
Good deal. Eric, give us an app pick.
Okay, my app pick is called Bacon Reader for Reddit. Apparently Reddit, I don't know, they're short on help or something, so they don't have an actual app, like a legit app that I've been able to find. So instead, some enterprising young people made Bacon Reader, which is a very nice reader for Reddit. I like it better than the mobile experience, through the browser. It is free, but it's ad supported. So if you get easily irritated by apps, you can put that Google survey free cache to use, and just plop down $1.99 to get it ad free. You will be grateful because I don't know. It took all of 10 minutes before I was like, okay, I'm done with this, and just did the ad-free version. So there you go. Bacon Reader, Reddit. Hooray.
Nice. Nice, Eric. I really felt your passion for that one. I, too,
Thank you.
have an
I'm
app.
actually very passionate about it. I feel like I'm in a bad mood now because I've
He really loves bacon, but he's not in the mood to eat. Yeah, I get it.
Verizon tech support will do that to you. Any tech support, I mean, really, will do that to you. So,
What's
all
your
right,
app pick, Matt?
let's wrap this up. Mine is called ISS Space Station. Now, this is different, Eric, from the ISS notification one, which would tell you, depending on weather and location, when the ISS was visible to you overhead. This one is like an interactive model kind of gallery information. It tells you all about the space station. It has all of these awesome pictures and interactive and 3D animated views of the space station. Tells you about the cool stuff on the space station. Of course, gives you a cool astronaut view. You can see here in the picture I'm screen sharing.
Oh lordy!
So
I feel like Sandra Bullock.
I know it totally. You can like move it around and like it moves. So, yeah, check it out. It's called ISS Space Station. It's by Corinth. I've been on like a space kick because our new place here, like the stars are just amazing out here. And then Cosmos, of course, on Fox. I've been watching that. Very awesome. So I'm just a space nerd, yo. Just a
quick story. I went to the Air and Space Museum over the weekend because I'm out here in DC and I'm like, I'm just gonna check it out. And the cool thing is that in the planetarium, they were playing a I don't know if you call it a movie. You know, it's interactive. It uses the planetarium. It's called Dark Universe, and it was like watching an episode of Cosmos. It was actually narrated by Neil deGrasse Tyson. It was really cool. If you are anywhere near the Air and Space Museum and you have the opportunity to go do this, I think it costs $5. You should go see this because it was really, really neat. And it took that episode of Cosmos where he's explaining, sort of how when we see stars, the light is, X amount of years old, and if you keep going back, you eventually hit this wall.
Yep.
It explains that very, very elegantly.
Nice.
So there's your plug. Go to a museum.
Go learn something. All right. Well, that's it, Eric. What's our email address, if you please?
Well, if you learned something, why don't you shoot us an email at show@attackoftheandroids.com.
Very cool. Or you can leave us a message, 406-204-4687. Check out the site, attackoftheandroids.com. We're on Stitcher. Got a Google Plus community and a page and a Facebook page and a Twitter account and an iTunes thing that you can leave us reviews on. And we're on Stitcher. Did I mention that? All right.
Are we on Coder Babes?
We should be. We should all be on. No, I'm totally kidding. It's a terrible site. Terrible. All right. Thanks for listening. AttackOfTheAndroids.com. We'll see you tomorrow for Gats and Thursday for Point and Shoot at Pruitt's Smartphone Photographer Show. Have a great night. Peace.
Bye.